What you see before you here is the site of Fort Davis, where it once stood. That's the sea beyond. Fort Davis was manned by the 7th Infantry Regiment, and they provided law and order at what the time was Alaska's largest city, Nome. And the soldiers were needed to quell saloon brawls and miners' disputes and to prevent claim jumping. The fort itself was founded in 1900, and when the gold rush petered out, the fort was closed in 1921. The buildings that were here were lost to storms and floods. A few of the buildings made their way to Nome proper, which is off in the distance there, that way, where they served as homes and offices, but none of the buildings that were here are left. These are all, these shacks are all hunting and fishing cabins for the natives here. This is the wonderfully photogenic Lee's dredge. This was the last dredge to work the Solomon River. It's worked by the Lee family, hence the name. And they were worked it until the 1960s. It's been sitting here since. But this has everything going for it for photogenic qualities. Another view of the dredge here. You can just see the buckets there dumping down in the water, and then the tailings would go out that way, and they're covered in brush now, but that's where tailings were dumped there. And of course, it's another view of the dredge here. Really, really cool. The view into the guts of it. And if I go over to where the buckets are, I'm sure you'll see it now. There they are. See those buckets right there? Talking about the dredging along the Solomon River. Lee Dredge is just back that way, and there's the river down here. And I wanted to point out these gravel piles here. Those are all from the dredge. I don't know if it's from that specific dredge, but those piles are all from dredging. And that's what it looks like when the cast off rocks and gravel are spit out the other side of the dredge. Whole hillsides were dug out, washed down, and then piled up again. A picture of one of the many, many mining camps in this area during the gold rush. Well, this is Alaska, and so you can see we've got some musk oxen down there along this branch of the Solomon River. And there's even one over there on the right that is fully in the river. I can assure you it's quite cold out here, and the water is even colder, so they're obviously not bothered at all by the cold. Along the river here, leading down to the beaches outside Nome. See more of those piles left from the dredges. And there's actually an abandoned dredge out there in the distance. I don't know anything about the history of this one. It's awesome to see all these dredges still out here in the wilderness like this. I thought this was interesting. That's a dredge off in the distance, and if I zoom in on it, we can see the guts of it, which we were not able to see with the other dredges we saw because of the infrastructure that was covering up the interior. But you can see the trommel down there and possibly the buckets, although a lot of them are probably buried beneath that or even sank in the river there. But you can see the trommel quite clearly, and also the arm where the tailings would extend out the back into the water in this case. And then there's another piece of equipment over there. But you can only imagine how long that's been there for all the wood to have rotted away. And that was interesting to see it. I thought this was pretty cool as well. There's an old miner's cabin over there that you used to be able to reach by driving across the river, but time has made the river deeper, and so unless we feel like swimming in the frigid waters, it's not going to happen. But who doesn't love miners' cabins, you know? And there's some old trucks over there. This would be a fun one to get to, but I didn't bring a boat in my carry-on bag.